All right, back to normal. Okay, that activity was called the change activity. And I've had the opportunity to do that activity with a lot of different groups. I've had the opportunity to do it to professional athletes, to coaches, to high school students, to college students, all the way down to 6 and 7-year-old boys and girls. Professional athletes, college students, 6 and 7-year-old kids. And guess what happens? Every time I do it, the same thing takes place. So you're in good company with 6 and 7-year-old boys and girls. I said change 5 things about yourself. And the moment I say change 5 things about yourself, people immediately go to start taking things off. Remember, I had to make a comment. This is not the strip club. Because what happens when we hear that word change, we look at it as something has to be taken away from us. We have to start looking at change as a good thing. And I know I'm in a group full of leaders. So I understand, you got it, I'm preaching to the choir. But we have to look at change as an opportunity to grow. Not always as an opportunity to lose something. I always say this, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Meaning change is going to happen, regardless. It's the growing part that we don't have to take part in. We don't. We can choose to stay the same. But we can't get better if we stay the same. The only way we can get better is by leaving our comfort zone. Change 5 things about yourself. I've never seen, well, I can't say never, I've seen it happen one time. I don't see it too often where people just pick things up. Now, I said I don't see it too often, but I've seen it one time. Now, I've seen some of you pick things up. No one picked up 5 things, but some of you did pick things up. So I was doing this activity with a professional basketball team. Who you hang around is who you're going to become. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm doing this with a professional basketball team. They just came back from practice, and so I'm doing this leadership development training, the 2-day training with them for 2 days. So I do that activity, I say, change 5 things about yourself. And so they turn around, and this one person, he just goes to taking everything off, except for his compression shorts. Those tight shorts, that's the only thing he had on. And remember, I had to do it twice, so I'm thinking to myself, oh, shoot. Because I don't know what he's going to take off next. Hence, this is not the strip club. That's where that came from. So, I said, back to back, change 5 different things about yourself. And the same way I said, oh, shoot, he looked at me and said, oh, shoot. But what he did was so remarkable. He went around the room quietly and started picking things up. He picked up 5 different things. I remember him putting a pencil in his ear. I remember him having a stapler in his hand. I remember him taking something else, I think it was a marker. But he had 5 different things on his person. So when his partner turned around, this young man had picked up 5 different things. Take the opportunity to grow and learn from a lot of different people. That's when you truly grow. When you're taking things from everyone. So it's so funny because that was the first person that I've ever seen pick up 5 things. Like I said, 1 or 2 things I've always seen, but 5 things. It was then that I said, it's something special about LeBron James. I said that myself, not what the commentators say and all that. It was something special for him to go pick up those things. He could have just said, because I've done it with groups, I don't got nothing to change. We all have something to change. We all have something that we can get better at. But remember how I had to keep saying, do not change back. Do not change back. Because what happens when we change our hair, what happens when we leave our comfort zone, when we take our shoe off, when we put something on our mouth, Abigail, where Abigail at? Well, yeah, when we put our name tag on our mouth, we feel uncomfortable. It's kind of like this rubber band. This rubber band, I can stretch it out this far, but what does this rubber band want to do? It wants to go back to what's normal. I can stretch it out again this far. And what does it want to do again? It wants to go back to what's normal. I had to keep reminding you, do not change back, because we're always trying to get back to what's normal. In order to grow, we got to step outside of that comfort zone. We can't always go back to what seems to be comfortable. What this rubber band doesn't know is once it's stretched, it doesn't go back to the same size. It's been stretched. This program is going to stretch you. You're going to hear and see a lot of different things and allow it to stretch you and make you better. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So that's my superstar. I wrote this book a year ago. And it's called, It's Not a Secret, It's Just Life. How many of you are familiar with the secret? That whole, the secret story. Okay. All right. So the secret. So I read this book and I was like, oh, you mean I can just think about it? And it can happen. Okay. I'm not going to go to work today. I think. It didn't work. So in my book, I talk about taking the action steps. Because we can say we want all kinds of things, but until we take the action steps, it's not going to happen. So after each chapter, I have life tips. One of the life tips is failure like success is a choice, and they both require effort. How many of you in the room want to be successful? Show of hands. Okay. All right. Success is going to be different for all of us. It's going to be different for all of us. You define what success is. I tell my student athletes all the time, your success can't be based on someone else. You have to run your own race. Because if you run the race with someone else, you're going to wind up at their destination, not yours. We all have a destination that's made for us. We all bring something to the table. We have to be willing to let our voice be heard. We have to be willing to let our voice be heard. If you don't allow your voice to be heard, we miss out. We miss out. Everyone has a special design plan that they're supposed to do. And if you're not allowing the world to see it, shame on you. Shame on you, because greatness is inside of you. Greatness is inside each and every one of you in this room. How are you seeing life? How are you seeing life? You know, my daughter tells me all the time, she's like, Daddy, when I grow up, Daddy, I'm be successful. And I tell her, I know you are. I know you are. She's going to be great at whatever she chooses to do. She is. She is. I got kicked out of 2 different high schools. I graduated from a continuation school. So never once did I know that this Dr. Damon Arnold guy lived inside of me. I didn't know. It was so funny because if it wasn't for football being the vehicle to allow me to get to college, I wouldn't be here. But I used it as a vehicle and I began to understand the importance of education. So from there, I went on and received my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, 2 master's degrees, and a PhD. It's not how you start, but it's how you finish that counts. Who believes in you? Who are you hanging around? See, when I hung around my friends who used to get in trouble, I used to get in trouble. All right, let me show it because I might be in the wrong room. Do any of you know some people who always get in trouble? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Do any of you know some people who always complain? Raise your hand. Okay. So we all know someone who's always complaining. And that's the crazy thing about life. We can choose to keep complaining, or we can say, you know what? It is what it is, and I'm going to deal with what has taken place. Because that really determines our success. It's how we deal with what will happen in our lives. Things are going to happen. This semester is not going to go as planned for many of you in the room. It's not. It's not. Some of you, classes got dropped on Friday. Some of you might have been a victim of that. I don't know. What happens in life is things happen, but it's how do we deal with those things that will happen. Once you figure that out, you're going to be okay. Things will happen. But how are you dealing with it? But one of the greatest things about life is the short memory it has. You could have been doing something negative or unproductive for years, but the moment you begin to change is the moment your life begins to change. Those action steps. Those action steps. DJ. This is the story about communication. DJ. This is when he was real small. You know those little vehicles at Walmart that you push the button and they go? All right, I'm a little old. So they didn't have those when I was a kid. So when I had my son, I was like, he's going to have one of those. And so as soon as I seen one at Walmart, I bought it for him. He couldn't even reach the pedal. And my wife was like, when's he gonna ride? I don't care if he'll grow into it. But he had to have it because I've always wanted one. So these days, we live a wonderful life. So I live on this hill, and we got a hilly backyard. And so my son was out there riding because he's big enough now. And so he's out there riding. And so my son hits this hill and he got air. And I'm looking at him because I'm on my ride lawnmower, and I'm looking at him and he lands. And I seen the look on his face like, I'm about to do that again. So he goes and he wants to go back up the hill. He doesn't understand if you ride around, just go. So he's trying to get right back up the hill because he remembered doing it. So what he did was he got off and he started pushing it up. But the hill was too big, so it started rolling back down. Pushed it back up, rolled back down. So I've seen this taking place, and I'm thinking to myself, how can I communicate to my son in a way where he'll understand? So I said, DJ. I said, DJ, just get on it and just go around a different way. He looked at me and was like, Daddy, you know what you're talking about. This is the hill. Pushed it back up, rolled back down. And how can I get on that? DJ, just get on it and turn the handlebars. So he went up the hill a different way. But I had to figure out a way to communicate to my son in a way in which he would understand. Everyone's not going to understand the way we communicate. We have to communicate differently to different people. Does that make sense? Because we frustrate ourselves sometimes when we're trying to communicate with someone and we're like, oh, they're not understanding. We have to find a way to communicate to them. Make sense? You guys are the leaders. You guys are the leaders on campus. And so you have to figure out a way to be a great, effective communicator. Make sense? All right. The word can't give your brain permission to stop trying. We're not even going to cover that because we already know that, right? He's like, I think so. Communication. This is a big one. Unhealthy relationships and thoughts can be just as deadly as cancer, diabetes, or any other life-threatening illness if not treated. Who are you hanging around? Are you allowing people to suck your dreams and your ideas? I hate that as we get older, those dreams that we had begin to dissipate. We don't have those same dreams anymore. What happened? What happened to us wanting to be superheroes and all of these different things that we dreamt about when we were little? Like I said, when y'all playing that game, y'all went into y'all 7-year-old. Y'all did. Everybody was running, everybody was competing. That's what you used to do on the playground. You have to start dreaming again. You're going to have to start getting back to that place where you believe that you can do anything. Because you can. You can accomplish anything. And what's crazy about my life now is I know I can. Because I've seen other people who've done it. And if other people are able to do it, why can't you? That makes sense? Still with me? You good? You like it? I know. All right. Story time. I know y'all grown ups, but I got to do story time. Y'all know the story of how they train baby elephants? Raise your hand if you know the story of how they train baby elephants. Raise your hand. It's okay. Raise your hand. Come on. You know the story? Okay, don't tell the story, okay? Oh, we got this one in the group, huh? All right. Here's the story of how they train baby elephants. It's story time. Don't fall asleep on it. When a baby elephant is born, a baby elephant comes out weighing hundreds of pounds. Now, these are circus elephants I'm talking about. So, the trainer looks at the elephant, and the elephant learns how to walk and starts walking. So what he does is he goes outside and he takes a collar and he puts it around the elephant's neck. He takes a chain and leaves enough room for him to roam around, but he takes a stake and he hammers it in the ground. So the elephant has room to roam around, but he can only go so far. And so every day he tries to go, but he can only go so far. Every day. But he can only go so far. People are like, oh my gosh, that poor elephant. It's just a story right now. All right. But he can only go so far. Because she was looking at him, she was like, oh my gosh. Still an elephant. Okay, it's just a story. We good? I'm thinking over her. You know I know her. All right, so every day it tries. But it can't go past that place. And so what happens is he sees other animals, but he can only go so far. So, does everybody know what a hater is? Raise your hand if you don't know what a hater is. If you don't know. Okay, so everybody knows what a hater is. Okay, so give me a definition. I'm Mr. Webster. Every year I put a new word in the dictionary. I'm going to put the word hater in the dictionary. Okay? Why use that voice for Mr. Webster? I don't know. All right. Hater. Give me some. What's your definition of hater? What are we putting in the dictionary?
Raining on your parade.
Raining on your parade. So somebody who rains on your parade. All right, what else? What else do we have? Huh? Demeaning.
Jealous.
Jealous. What else? Give me a couple more.
Never good enough.
Never good enough. What else?
Doubting.
Oh, I love it. Those are all the words that we're putting in for the hater. All right, so that's our definition of hater. So every day he's trying to move. So this elephant probably has two big elephants who's already been trained and they don't go too far. They don't go too far. And so they're probably over to the side because, you know, at first haters don't talk real loud about you. They talk under their breath. Look at him. Every day. And I know elephants can't talk, okay, but I got it. So let me step out of this for a minute. The only reason why, because I was doing this presentation to the 6 and 7-year-olds, and this little 7-year-old kid, elephants can't talk. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell the story unless I'm gonna hit him in his throat. I really I'm sorry. I need my hands. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. I was in trouble. Take it to him. All right, so he's sitting up there. Every day he tries to do that. He don't hear him at first. So what happens is a hater will start talking louder about you. And so you can hear it now. So he's like, look at him. Why do you keep trying to move from that spot? You can't move from that spot. And so the elephant hears him, and the baby elephant, he don't know any better. The baby elephant is like, I can move from this spot. I can. Watch. And he tries, but he can't. But he's like, I can't because look. And he sees other animals roaming. He sees deer just. Go back to my deer. But he sees it, and he's like, I see them doing it. See, we see other people doing it. As I said before, why can't we? Other people are doing all the things that you dreamt about. So why can't you? And so he's like, look. And so he tried, but he can't. And they're like, see, we told you. And so, day by day, he doesn't even try. He tries a little bit. He can't do it. So all of a sudden, he does it. He just stays in that spot. And the trainer who had been watching, he comes outside and he takes the chain from around his neck, but he keeps the collar in there because the collar keeps him in that same condition. And that elephant never tries to move from that spot again. We have been so conditioned by life to think that we can't be great. And so we settle. We settle. We gotta stop settling. We gotta stop. The greatest inventions, the cure for AIDS, the cure for cancer, I believe, is buried in the cemetery. I believe the greatest ideas are in the cemetery. Some of those people who died before us, they were too afraid to step outside of their comfort zone and make it happen. That can't happen to this group. That cannot happen to this group. You're the leaders who are going to make some great things happen. Does that make sense? I get kind of deep, so you got to crowd with kind of low. See, I practice on voice reflection. No, here we go. All right. Haters play an important role in your success. I would not be this Dr. Damon Arnold guy, God bless you, if it wasn't for my haters. For people telling me, there's nobody in your family graduated from college. You can't graduate from college. Yes, I can. If that's something that I choose to do. So what I do is I allow haters to talk. And I show haters, just because they couldn't do it, I'm going to make it happen. I had the student group that I was talking to one time. And the student group, it was funny, because I told them, I said, how many of you have ever been in a fight? And this was inner city school, and a bunch of them raised their hand. I said, what did you fight for? Oh, this guy stepped in my shoes. Okay. Why did you fight? Oh, this guy, he said something about me. Okay. And so I told them this. I said, you know, when you fight your haters, it's just as bad as doing this. I said, so all of a sudden I'm indoors right now, and I step outside the treehouse, and I see a bird, and a bird is on the ground, and I look at that bird and I say, bird, you better not fly. And all of a sudden, a bird flies. And I get, oh, that bird flew. I told it not to fly. Birds do what? Birds do what?
Fly.
Fish do what?
Swim.
Birds do what?
Fly.
Fish do what?
Swim.
Haters do what?
Hate.
Haters hate. So how are you going to fight or get mad at a hater for doing what it is they do? Because birds do what? Fish do what?
Swim.
Haters do what?
Hate.
You all raised your hand. You knew the definition of a hater. We all have it. You have people who are going to be envious and jealous of you just for being in this program. You have people in your life who they're going to say they love you, but they want you to stay at the same level they're at. You're too great for that. Do what it is you were designed to do and help them to do what it is they were designed to do. But everybody's not going to be willing to go with you. Does all make sense? Kind of shaking your head over here. All right, there go the hater, and there go two elephants. Always got to show two elephant haters. Life will put people around you with inspirations and dreams and desires similar to yours. Wow. You're in a program. Wow. Mike is also in this program. Wow. It's some people in this room who, just like you, want to be great. You guys are going to have to push each other. You guys are going to help each other. You guys are going to have to count on each other. Like I said, things will happen this semester, things will happen this year, but you guys got to push each other. You guys got to push each other. When your colleagues, your cohort is going through it, you got to push them. You got to tell them it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. You got to push them. And then you got to encourage other people to get involved with this program. Because it's going to be so phenomenal that you're going to have to get back and say, hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. Just like your dreams, they're worth it. They're worth it. And what's funny is people want to laugh at your dreams. Y'all believe that to be true? How many of you believe that to be true? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you my story. And I don't know, but just follow me, okay? I know I might got some haters in the room. Cameron, you got me? You got my Giselle sign? Okay. This is my story about the trash can, okay? All of you have, you're like, what is he doing with the trash can? I have a point to it. I keep talking about that greatness in each and every one of you, right? So imagine many years ago when Xavier, we'll call him, okay? Xavier was sitting around with his buddies, and Xavier said, I think I got an idea where I'm going to make a lot of money. And they said, what are you going to do, Xavier? And he said, I got an idea for a can. And what we're going to do with that can is people, instead of throwing trash all around like we do now, they're going to put the trash in a can. What does friends say? Man, ain't nobody going to put no trash in a can. We throw our trash all over the floor. Why would we put trash in a can? And I don't know. And he invented the trash can. And people started putting their trash in cans. Years and years later, Dominique, had to put a black man in there. Dominique said, I got this idea for a bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bag and we're going to be able to put it in the trash can and you can tie it up and carry your trash to like a junkyard or something. What did his friend say? Oh, that'll never happen. We just put our trash in the can. No one's going to do all that and put it in a plastic just to, I think it's going to work. He stuck with it and he made millions. Years and years later, the guy sitting with his friends. I got this idea. Her name was Jill. Jill said, I have an idea. Okay, that's my girl's voice, okay? Y'all can't get mad at me, all right? I got an idea. And this idea is, I'm going to create this tie thing. And what they're going to do with this tie thing And what did her friend say? That'll never work, girl! That's where the neck movement came from. All right. They said, that'll never work. She made millions. It's some ideas that you have inside of you that people are going to say, that'll never work. But you have to be committed to your dreams. You have to be committed to your ideas. You have to be committed every day to get better. That make sense? Women, y'all okay with my girls, please? So y'all can be at home. We don't sound like that! Okay. This program was a program that I went through the NCAA. It was to prepare people of color to become athletic directors, because there's not a lot of athletic directors in the NCAA. And so going through this program, I discovered what I wanted to do, which was motivational speaking. A lot of these gentlemen, they work for professional teams, and that's why I was able to hook up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who you hang around is vitally important. Remember I just said, how many of you have Native friends? Everyone raise your hand. Be careful hanging around people who drain you. Be careful hanging around those people, because they'll suck you dry. Hopefully you have 2 negative friends. Introduce them together and just leave. Because they'll suck you dry. You want to hang around people who are going to inspire you. People who are going to make you better. I mentioned LeBron James, and I follow him a lot now. I am from Cleveland. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm okay with LeBron. Right. One of the things that I learned about LeBron is LeBron made a comment many years ago. He made a comment how he wanted to be the first billionaire athlete. He said he wanted to be the first. Since then, Tiger Woods had became the first. But he wanted to be the first billionaire athlete. LeBron James, if you don't know his story, grew up in the projects. He was a very good student, but grew up in the projects. LeBron James never had millions of dollars. Better yet, billions of dollars. So in order for him to learn how to be a billionaire, what he does is he hangs around people who are in positions where he want to be. Y'all know who this is? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is the second richest man on the planet. Second richest man on the planet. Now I know some of you are like, well, because it changes, it fluctuates. But during the time when I pulled this information, second richest man on the planet. LeBron wants to learn how to be a billionaire. He's hanging around billionaires. Who are you hanging around? Who's making you better? Are you the smartest friend in your group? If you're the smartest one in your group, who's making you better? This one book I love to read, but it talks about iron sharpening iron. Who's sharpening you? Who's making you better? But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's LeBron James. You know, why LeBron James? You know, he's arguably one of the best NBA players in the game right now. Why does he hang around the second richest man on the planet? So then I found another picture. That's LeBron James walking with the richest man on the planet. He gets it. But it's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mindset who you decide to spend your time with. Story time. Shoes. Y'all know what kind of shoes these are? Jordans. All right. DJ. My son, how old is he? 10. Wow. He's going to college. He goes to Grand Valley. No, he's 9 years old. DJ is 9 years old. Here's my story about DJ. We got to close up pretty soon. But here's my story about DJ. Y'all ready? Jordans. When 9 years ago, the shoe of all shoes, Jordans. So when I found out I was having a little boy, what kind of shoes did my boy have to have? Jordans. Because my son had to be cool. And the only way he could be cool is he had to have Jordans. So, found out I was having a son, I went to, because I like to dress nice. But I like to shop clearance. And so, I do. I find the greatest deal. Clearance. I do. And so, but I like to dress nice. I had to go there. I get it. All right. So, I went to the Foot Locker outlet and I bought 7 pair of Jordans. And I came to the house and my wife was just like, what is wrong with you? I was like, man, my son got to be cool. He got to have Jordans. And so, had our son, he was 2 years old. 2 years old, he didn't have a pair of Jordans to fit him. And so I told my wife, I said in the morning, because it just so happened to be his birthday, I said, look, in the morning, we need to go to the mall to get my son some Jordans, because he ain't got a pair to fit his feet right now. She was like, all right. So we load up the car, and I got a navigator. So we load it up, we put him in the back, and so we get to the mall, we get the stroller. And so, you know, he's 2, so we put him in the stroller, and you know, kind of embarrasses me a little bit, because you know, they ain't got control of anything. So and he drooling and stuff. He ain't looking real cool right now. We ain't looking like a good unit right now. So he just, you know, just doing all this. And so we get to the Foot Locker, and I asked the lady, I said, hey, where's the shoes that fit my son? The Jordans that fit my, oh, so, sir, they're over here. So I go over to, because before when I bought them on clearance, they was $10, $15, because they was on clearance. That's why I bought 7 pairs. And so I get to, so we go over to the side, and I look, and I say, oh, these Jordans look cool. So I get the Jordans, I'm like, woo, $50. The shoe was this big. $50 for some Jordans. And I'm looking down at him, his neck just and he drooling. I'm like, in my head, I couldn't even, I'm not spending $50 on this dude. So I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe those the Jordan top of the line. Here's another pair of Jordans. Let me get these, because this can't be right. Look, $55. Once again, I look down at him. He ain't got no job. I just can't. And so I'm sitting up and I'm looking perplexed, and my wife, and this stays in the room because we had to go to counseling. Stays in the room because we had to go to counseling. So my wife looks over at me and she says the words that I never wanted to hear. She said, babe, let's just go to Payless. I ain't going to Payless! My son ain't going to Payless shoes. My son ain't wearing no Payless shoes. I wish I would have my son in some Payless shoes. So as we took our stroller on our way to Payless. Anybody married in here? You know what I mean? All right. So we get to Payless. And I'm mad. I asked her, hey, what shoes are they? Oh, they're over here, sir. And I'm mad. So we go over there. My son is like, I'm like, what? My son at the time, his favorite cartoon was Superman. My son's looking up at a pair of Superman shoes. He's like, Superman! So I take the box and I put it down, put the shoes on his feet. He's like, so we go up to the front counter, and by the way, those of you who are familiar, it was Bobo. So we left with a pair of Incredible Hulks as well. So we get to the car, and my son just smiling. He's just happy. He's just happy. And I look into the rear view mirror, and I'm feeling like daddy again. You know, I'm like, oh. And he just, Superman, baby. And the strangest thing happened. His foot hit the back of my wife's chair and lit up. He was like, lights! We get to the house, and we got these rules. You gotta take off your shoes when you get to the house. My son was taking off those shoes. By that time, he was like, my son is how old?
9.
He was 2 then. 7 years ago, I learned that it's not what you wear, but it's how you wear it. See, people are going to judge you based on not even knowing you. In many cases, it's your role and your job to present yourself in such a way where they're forced to want you to be a part of your life. That's the key to life. That's the key to life. So it's so funny because in my life, I can make whatever look good now. I can make whatever look good. I feel good about me. You have to feel so good about you that it doesn't matter what you have on. Because it matters what's in here. My son taught me that. My son taught me it does not matter what I'm wearing. What matters is what I bring to the table. That's what matters. What are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing that can make other people great? Because success is defined on what have you done to help other people fulfill their dreams. When you do that, that's when you'll truly find happiness. I find happiness every time I see a student athlete walk across that stage at Van Andel. Because I knew how they grew up. I knew they were the first person in their family to go to college. I knew that we had to give them a permit to even enroll in classes because they couldn't pay that fee. I knew how they grew up. I knew that we had to write notes in order for them to be able to go certain places. What do you bring to the table? What are you bringing to the table? That's the key. Last story. Last story. Any dream multiplied by doubt will cancel out your desire and leave you with zero. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Know that you're going to be great. Know that greatness is in you. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Don't even give it room for doubt. Give it room to make adjustments. Make adjustments. You know, truly successful people, what they do is they make a decision. That's the key. Make a decision. And then if it doesn't turn out the way you hoped it will, make adjustments and move on. But make a decision. Make a decision to be great because greatness is inside you. Make a decision. Make a decision. Me and my son, it's so funny because I watch him because he's a motivational speaker now. I'm serious. I see him talking to his friends now. You know, it's imperative. I'm like, Stella. I told you the story about the elephant. I'm going to skip this story, and it's the last story I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to let you go. I'm a big Jordan fan. I'm a big Jordan fan because I know his story. I know his story. And I think his story is one that if we all practice, we would truly be successful. When I say the name Michael Jordan, what comes to your mind? Shoes. Championship. Space Jam.
Flying through the air.
Flying through the air. It always got to be one. He said hands. Always got to be one. Always got to be one. All right. So championships, money, all of those things is this Michael Jordan over here. That's this Michael Jordan. Okay. That's this. It's so amazing to me how we hear snippets about this Michael Jordan, and if it wasn't for this Michael Jordan, it would be that Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan that I'm referring to right here is the Michael Jordan that what? Got cut from his high school basketball team. We hear snippets of that, but we hear all about that. So here's my story, the last one of the day, about Michael Jordan, and I'm going to tie it together through all that I've been talking about. So this Michael Jordan is 15 years old. Tries to make the team. He didn't make the team. That means it was 11 or 12 other guys who were better than this Michael Jordan. So I believe, this is my story, I believe when he looked up on that list, he was crushed. So he went home. And he probably got caught by his mom or his dad, but he probably cried. 15, 16 years old. He probably like, his mom or his dad, whoever he called, say, baby, it's okay. But baby, you just gotta work hard. I don't want to make the team. I want to make it. Baby, it's okay. You just have to work hard. He probably went up to his room, probably cried himself to sleep. But I believe that Michael Jordan over there, what he did at that point, he said, I want to play basketball, because he knew inside he was a basketball player. It's something that you know inside that you were destined to do. And you're either going to give up and agree with the haters, or you're going to do this. Every day from that point, he probably went up to the park and took shot after shot after shot. And remember, he wasn't that good at that point, so he probably missed more shots than he made. But he was taking the shots. You'll never know if you can make it if you never take a shot. Every day he took shot after shot after shot. He went out there every single day and took shot after shot after shot. What is it that you need to be taking shot after shot to get better at? He started making more shots. And then he would go home. And I believe on one particular evening, or probably multiple evenings, he would have two friends, just like that elephant. And he would say, hey man, what's up? What y'all about to do? And they probably say, hey Mike, why don't you go to this party with us? 15, 16 years old. Mike, it's a party, why don't you go? And Mike probably said, no man, I'm about to go out to the park so I can practice. And his friends probably said, man, come on Mike, come on, go to the party with us. Mike probably said, nah. In order to be that person, nah, I'm about to go practice. And they probably said, man, dude, it ain't like you good. You ain't even make the team. What you gonna have, commercials? You think you're gonna have commercials? Probably gonna say, like Mike, I want to be like Mike. But those of you who don't know, he does have that commercial. He didn't listen to the naysayers. He went back outside, day after day, in the rain, until shot after shot. Fast forward, made the team both years after that. He ended up going to North Carolina. North Carolina, he's on teams with Hall of Famers, NBA Hall of Famers. If you YouTube the shot that made Michael Jordan, what will come up is a point guard is going down the court, dribbling the ball, sees Michael Jordan over in the wing, and he passes it to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan takes the shot, makes it, they win a national championship. Freshman year? Freshman? You mean to tell me it's Hall of Famers on this team, and this point guard passes this to Michael Jordan, a freshman who takes the shot that wins the national championship? I bet this point guard seen Michael Jordan in practice, because he's good at this point, and now he's training shot after shot after shot. That point guard knew when I pass it to Mike, Mike is going to make it. You want to be able to depend on others in this room. And those people who are depending on you, you have to be ready to make the shot. After he did that, he became this Michael Jordan. But see, it was the in-between that we just talked about that made him that. Success just doesn't happen. It happens by taking shot after shot after shot and missing. Because you're going to miss. But then you change your shot. I really hope all of this makes sense to you. I really, really do. Because as I close, I need you to understand this. I keep alluding to the greatness being inside all of it. It is. But no one can see that greatness, and no one will hear of that greatness if you don't allow us to hear it, if you don't allow us to see it. As we go through this year, I said things are going to happen. But how are you going to react when those things happen? You can get through it. You really can. Some of you in this room might be going through something right now. You can get through it. Because there's 30 some odd other people. As I joked about race, I do that a lot. Because society has made us get to the point where we don't celebrate the things we have in common. We talk mostly about the things that are different. Yeah, I'm an African American. But what's interesting is I have so much in common with a lot of you in this room. You got a mother? You? Wow. Right. Move it along. We have that in common. And I can go around the room and I can say, do you got a brother, do you got a sister, do you got this? And you have to say, yeah. And even though you don't look just like me, we still have those things in common. And that's what we need to celebrate. The things that we have in common. The most important race on this earth, the most important being on this earth, is the human being. That's the most important being. Me being black just brings experiences to the table that may be different than yours, that may be different than yours, but we can celebrate those differences. Does that make sense? That makes sense. I got 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Last thing. There was a guy named Dr. Scott. Dr. Scott was a white gentleman. Dr. Scott was the one who changed my life. When I graduated with my BA degree, I had a 2.1. He allowed me to get in graduate school conditioning. That changed my life. I didn't want to let him down. I had to maintain a B average. I was able to do that. But he believed in it. Somebody believes in you. Don't let him down. Don't let him down. And if you don't have anyone who believes in you, you believe in you. And don't let you down. Don't let you down. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.